Hello and welcome to Casual Buddhism. I'm your host, Cindy Rasicot, author of Finding Venerable Mother and devoted follower of Venerable Dhammananda Bhikkhuni. Venerable Dhammananda is the first fully ordained Theravada Buddhist nun in Thailand. And just to give a short synopsis of what we do in Casual Buddhism, we come together, we have casual conversation, a guest comes on and we can talk about, the person can talk about Buddhism, Buddhist practice, a personal relationship issue, a life situation, whatever comes up. And I'm so thrilled tonight because we have two very honored guests. We have Trudy Goodman, founder of Insight LA, and Jack Kornfield, who is best-selling author and also a founding teacher at Spirit Rock Meditation Center. And of course, always grateful to have Venerable Dhammananda. The conversation was already getting started. So Jack, you said you were going to tell a story?
Yeah, well, the story I wanted to tell has to do with the people of Thailand. Those of us who are Westerners who have come to Thailand to study Buddhist teachings or to ordain and be a monk or hopefully a bhikkhu or bhikkhuni. We have been treated so well with so much generosity. There's a kind of generosity of heart and spirit that's part of Thai culture. And so I was thinking about, I don't know, it was 5 or 10 years ago, how far the blessings have spread. And I realized that with Spirit Rock and the Gaia House in England and IMS and all our friends, we'd published, literally printed millions of books. We'd had hundreds of thousands of students. We'd affected so many lives. And so I sent a package to His Majesty the King. I sent it through Somdat at Wat Pawani Wade, who was the Somdat at that time, who was also someone I knew. And I wrote a note to the king. And I said, Your Majesty, I know you have many responsibilities and some of your days are not very easy. So I want to send you something that will brighten your spirit and make you happy. And I sent pictures of centers in England and the US and Switzerland and so forth, and photos of books. And I said, the generosity of you, Your Majesty, and the people of Thailand and those who follow the Buddha Dharma has been so magnificent that it's allowed us to come and practice and be fed and study and spread this all across the world. And I hope this gives you a happy day.
Did he answer? Did he send you a thank you note?
He did not answer. I think he had other things to do and I expected nothing, but it just made me happy. That's part of how dana and generosity work. Is it makes you happy to do it.
True, yes, true, yes, without expecting. So that's, you did not make an offering with the label of Jack Kornfield so that he would have to respond. And you will be happy only when you are being responded. So that's a beautiful part of Jaka, of giving.
Yeah, and I feel that around your temple when I could see how much support and how many people love to support you and the other bhikkhunis, and you feel this field of joy, of generosity and giving.
I often tell them that, people wait to receive. I think it's very easy to give because you can give now. But if you wait to receive, then you have to wait for a long time.
Good. I don't know, this may not be a question you want to answer, but after listening to your story, Jack, it made me wonder, did the king support, I know that there was a lot of opposition initially to the idea of women having full ordination in Thailand, and that you went through a lot of challenges being the first bhikkhuni. And I wondered if the king ever said anything about this, if he was for or against or just kept quiet.
Being a king, it's very difficult for him to make public, either recognition, support or no support, But my mother as a nun met the king twice. And made offering to him. One time she made offering of, at that time we were running a stone factory. So we offered him the product the stone product that we made. At another time, at the airport in Chiang Mai, Kong Bin 48, Air Force, how do you say that in English? Kong Bin 48, the 41, number 41. She was there to offer him a gold Buddha, weigh something like 30 baht, So I think twice my mother had a direct contact with him, and he, as a recipient, he was receiving and he was saying thank you. She made known that women are ordained, and he was aware of our existence. In my time, one time I get to meet the Crown Prince. At that time, the Crown Prince, and I made offering of the books and different articles, and she was there. She was there to receive the gift directly. I was in the palace, making the offering. So they know of our existence. They know of our existence.
And they accepted your offering graciously.
Of course.
So how well known across the country of Thailand is the fact that there now are communities of bhikkhunis? Is that well known across the country?
After 20 years, I have been ordained more than close to 21 years now. Now, Jack, we have at least, this is the survey was done last 2 years before the outbreak of this COVID. So we gathered the number something like 285 bhikkhunis in the whole country, and covered more than 30 provinces. In Thailand, we have something like 70 provinces. So we have covered more than half in all regions. In the south, you have Nakhon Si Thammarat, Nakhon, you have Songkhla, in Koh Yor, on a small island called Koh Yor. That is a larger arama. In the north, we have a very large arama of bhikkhunis. Chiang Mai, Chiang Rai, Nong Khai, northeast. You cross over to Laos from that province. Sakon Nakhon, Khon Kaen, Korat. In the central part, you have Uthai Thani, so yes, we do have bhikkhunis out there for people to see. Now, when you travel, they meet us not with a surprise any longer. Yeah. But yet we don't have that, what you call that, official status. We are not recognized by law, but we are not doing anything against the law. Therefore, we exist. They allow us to exist, so to say.
Well,
so we keep on doing as the daughters of the Buddha, no, Jack?
Yeah, this is fantastic. So you've succeeded across the country. It's a really, really, really beautiful thing.
You should look, I'll show you the video. There's a beautiful video. I forget, what is the name of that? The one that you sent to me, Cindy, that shows, it shows Venerable Dhammananda and then Ayatata Loka and, yeah, that one.
Yeah, the title is Fulfilling the Buddha's Vision, and it is on Voice of America. This came out only last month.
Oh,
very recent.
Yeah, it's really beautiful. Maybe we can, or Cindy, maybe you can post a link for everybody in the chat. If people
that's a good idea.
They can watch that because it's very inspiring. It actually brought tears to my eyes, tears of inspiration and gratitude, really, that this is happening, and for your part in that too, Long Mai. So I encouraged you to ask a question if you have any questions.
For Jack, it's a very good for Jack to share. He has much to share with us.
I need to ask.
He shares a lot.
I share too much, right?
No, it's wonderful.
Just perfect.
Very generous.
So, all right, I have a question. In our teaching in the West now for the last many decades, one of the things that we found is that people have a lot of self-judgment and self-hatred. And we had this famous conversation with His Holiness the Dalai Lama about this, and like what to do when people encounter self-hatred. And he was at first confused because there is not a word for self-hatred in Tibetan language. Like, why would you do that? But in the US, there's a lot of internalized judgment. And then when people start to meditate, or even when they do other practices, they often have a very strong self-criticism or feel bad about it. We started to teach more metta and self-compassion, but I wonder if you have encountered that in Thailand, or if you have advice for people who are dealing with, self-hatred or a lot of self-judgment.
I think it's this is something to do with West and East. We are really different from the mindset. I realized that when I say something, I thought I said something very simple, to the Western audience, but they really love it. They never heard of this kind of thinking before, So I think this casual Buddhism allowed this small space for us to get across each other and to realize that you don't need to think that way at all. It is the thinking process that caused you so much suffering. Yes, go back to that simple baby mind. Simple baby mind, if that you go back to that simple baby mind, the baby does not know how to smile yet, because the baby does not make distinction between you like or you don't like. A newborn baby, anyone can lift the baby up, and the baby is always happy, or likes to be, hug like this, to receive the warmth from that person who is actually holding her or him. But once when the baby grows up to be two months, I think 2-3 months, start recognizing, this is Papa, this is my father holding me. So she gave a smile. When the baby starts smiling, then she makes a distinction. Somebody else pick her up, she will cry. The baby mind is like that, So go back to that baby mind with simplicity. And what else is there? What else is there for you, but this baby mind? Yes.
That's so beautiful. I remember when I first encountered the Buddhist teachings, I was already in my mid-20s, I think. And when I realized, there's no concept of original sin in Buddhism.
No.
You don't start out being kicked out of the Garden of Eden because you did something wrong and God is mad at you. I remember thinking, oh my gosh, this is really about original blessing, this practice, not sin. Like we are blessed, like you're saying, from the beginning as a baby. And it was a big relief, along with hearing the Four Noble Truths. That was also a relief, because I think in our culture, we're so individually focused that everything becomes our fault and our responsibility. Instead of understanding we're part of a collective and there are causes and conditions that affect all of us.
In our practice, in my practice, I think it's very important that I also get caught up in this, I'm not doing well enough, that kind of thing. I have done my part. When I'm doing something, I give myself totally into this, whatever it comes out, whether you like it, I get good response or not. I get how to say, now they always press like, now this modern way of thinking is also, calling for recognition. You have to press the button, you like it, and then
right.
how to say that in English, this modern technique. And this is the way you get caught again into recognition. You do something so good, so wonderful, but you need recognition. And if there is no recognition, you are unhappy. Oh, how sad. If you're doing something good, it is beautiful in itself. What else do you want? So we keep on doing this kusala, this kusala, wholesome thought, wholesome speech, wholesome act, keep that daily. Oh, sometimes that unwholesome thought also comes, but try to fill ourselves with wholesome thought. Replace so that your mind is full with wholesome kusala. When the mind is full of kusala, we don't allow space for unwholesome thought to arise. So that's another technique, when you cannot really get all these bad things, all the unwholesome uprooted, at least you fill it in with the wholesome thought, wholesome act, like that. The daily practice is important. Recognize you're doing something good, not for yourself. It is a good act, whether it is for yourself or for anyone else. It is good in it. It is the intention that actually judge the karma. Yes. So we have the good intention to do this, and that's good.
So you teach metta gamatan. Do you teach metta as a practice very much at the monastery for people?
Not focusing verbally, but I try to encourage people, to fill in their mind with kusala.
Because what you were talking about, filling your mind with kusala, is a form of metta practice, really, right?
Yes.
How do you tell people to do? How do you teach them to do this?
Literally like this, they come in with all kind of problems. Okay, we kind of put the problems on the table, see each one of them, and you cannot let go of this. Okay, you cannot let go of this, but fill in yourself with the good thoughts, with the wholesome thoughts, and like the story in the sutra with that white cows and black cows. You remember that? That last moment. We just be aware that last moment, when we pass away, pass on to another existence, we don't know which direction we are going, because we don't know when we are going to die. And because of that, we need to fill our mind with more white cows. You know that story? Yeah, fill your mind with more white cows, because the gate is open. Once the gate is being opened from outside, one cow will get out. That last minute when the mind gets out, when the citta, is to pass on from this existence to another one, as we do not know, we ourselves do not know when we are going. So let us fill the field with more white cows, so that at least, we are kind of almost certain that it will be the white cow that get out. Yeah.
Oh, wonderful.
I like that logic.
Yeah.
Because there is one story before that, this well-practiced meditation master, he was teaching Vipassana, and he had so many disciples. But at the time when he passed away, it so happened that his eyes fall on this object, the new robe, the new silk robe, very good quality silk robe that somebody just offered to him. And he passed away at that moment. So what happened? So when he died, the Sangha always divide whatever the belonging that you have. And the Buddha said, wait for this particular jivara, wait for 7 days. So that the monks did not know, why you have to wait for 7 days. Apparently, the master died and passed on into this small insect, living in that jivara, living in that silk robe. And the life of this insect is 7 days.
Really scary story.
That's why we need to fill our mind with more white cows.
Yeah, I hear you.
I don't know how many times Venerable has told me when I've been focusing on something not so positive, go outside and smell a flower, do something simple. And, being in her presence, I think I've learned a lot just simply about being in that positive mindset. It is a practice, I think. but being in touch with a teacher who is constantly feeling that and being that is a very, almost a form of reverence, I think. To be,
all the time, Cindy, to tell you the truth, I was afraid I will die as a small insect in that timura, in that rope.
Oh, that's what I meant. It's a scary story because we have to be very careful even where we're looking, even where our eyes land. Yeah.
This will explain, because Jack has been in Thailand. This will explain, when you go to some household in the village, you will see, this house is very messy, They have piece of paper, like this small pieces of paper, placed everywhere. Oh my gosh, this house is very dirty. These pieces of paper is what? Is the donation slip.
Yes.
Yeah. This old lady had made donation to this temple, that temple, that temple. So at least, when she's passing away, her eyes fall on this, the donation slip. She had made donation to that temple, At least there is that connection to allow her to pass on to a better stage. This is a practice in the olden days. Now you don't see it anymore, but in my time, and I think Jack might have seen that when he was in Thailand.
Yes, I did see it, and that was, it was 50 years ago, so it was a different.
True.
Now you have to have those little slips on your phone, and you're oh yes, I gave a donation. Trudy, did you have a question to ask?
Well, I was really interested when we spoke. We had a wonderful opportunity to speak at Insight LA last week, and you told us
that was very good, no?
It was
Trudy,
wonderful.
It was very good, yes.
We loved it, and we would love to have you back because everybody felt very inspired. Just hearing the teachings from somebody like you, very different background, very different voice, and having lived through all the things that you lived through.
Yeah.
I was very struck by something that I read, something that you said about your struggles that you went through. And you said, I was never fighting people. I was fighting ignorance. And I thought that was really beautiful, that you somehow kept that mind of not getting personal, even when, for example, one of the monks in the video is very clear about why women can't keep the rules and shouldn't be bhikkhunis. And it would be very easy to get mad at him. But you always didn't do that. And I am just curious about that, because I feel this is something that our communities need to learn better, to be clear. We're not fighting each other. We're not resenting each other. We're actually, what we need to be turning our hearts toward is understanding whatever the lack of awareness or whatever the lack of kusala filling the mind, whatever's causing the trouble. And people get so attached to the personal part and states of blame and resentment. So I just would love to hear you speak a little bit about that, because I know you must have gone through so many moments like that.
The same monk, what he said is very negative, and that turned the positive energy in me to respond. So I am responding today in English, and I will post that on YouTube.
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah.
So not not fighting with him, but giving him the good information, the right information, so that people understand. There are 3 points. I'm going to focus on that. So this is how we work towards, when somebody said something that is wrong, you have to know what is wrong and what is the correction, and then put your energy into it.
I love that you're putting your energy into a response to him, because I don't know, I think when I think of myself, I might have just let that go, but you're not letting it go. You want people to hear the response.
Yes. Yes, so we turn the energy, instead of allowing this negative energy to arise in our mind, we turn it into how to say a strong positive energy to work in order to eradicate ignorance on the issue.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, beautiful. Thank you.
Mhm.
I can't wait to look on YouTube and see what you have posted.
Yes, and today is one pra, big one pra, dark moon. So we do have a session at the temple, and I told them that allow me to speak in English. I will be directing on the 3 issues that this monk actually brought up. And then on Sunday, I have a live program speaking in Thai to the Thai audience. And I hope that the Council of Elders will get to listen, because he is one of the members of the Council of Elders. So I hope that
So this is great.
yeah, so I hope that he is not representing the Council of Elders. I hope, the way he expressed himself is should not be representing the Council of Elders. And we should make this known to the public and also to the Council of Elders, that this is a discussion that is going on around the world now.
Yes.
Yes.
Very much.
And that part, the international that's really important, because I think everybody wants to be seen in a positive light.
Yes.
And they don't want to be seen as backward or opposing progress in the world and the evolution of women's strength and all of that. So good. I really, I guess I feel like maybe your background of being a professor in the world and writing books, and that it has given you the strength to respond this way, as well as your Buddhist practice. What do you think?
I think the practice is very important. Otherwise I will be a grouchy old lady, Jack. Without the practice, I would be a grouchy old lady. Yes, the practice is very
Yeah.
Yeah.
We are so grateful too. We're without it, it's really become our life for decades and decades and decades. This is what our life is about, and it feels like we've been nourished by the water, or the sweet water of the Dharma, to change our own hearts and to treat the world with more kindness and respect, and tremendous gratitude. Very, very grateful. And now grateful that you are doing this, which inspires women across Thailand and around the world.
Yeah.
Trudy, I asked you one question. Last time you introduced me as academic, you used one word, mystic. What do you see in me as a mystic? I am really curious.
I said you were a practical mystic. I think that was what I said.
Yeah.
Because, I haven't lived in Thailand like Jack, so I don't know the mindset there at all. But here, often people make kind of opposites. They make opposing, either a very practical person, or you're a mystical person, which means maybe your head is in the clouds, you see.
Oh, I see.
You're not very grounded. And maybe you have a beautiful spiritual life and understanding in a certain way, but you're not really connected to the earthiness of existence.
Yes.
So I was saying that you are somebody who embodies the teachings of the Dharma, which I'm not looking at them as mystical, in the clouds, but it is spiritual, right? That you are embodying these spiritual teachings, but at the same time, you are teaching in a very simple, practical way and living a very practical, practice-oriented life. So that's what I meant.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for the clarification, because I love to be mystic in the traditional sense as well as in what you explain.
Yes, well, the traditional sense, you have that. And in our culture, often that is seen as sort of in opposition to being able to be out in the world and do practical things and be successful, for example. But I hope I didn't offend you in any way by saying that.
Yes, no. I really like it when you explain, yes.
Okay, good.
Yes.
Good.
Well accepted.
Good. Thank you for asking. I appreciate that.
Well, this is, I'm very grateful for this conversation. We usually go 15 minutes. We've gone over, and I'm so grateful to all of you here. I just would like to thank you for coming and being with us tonight. And it's such a gift to sit in all of your presence. So thank you. I just would say a couple of words in closing, that I would love to have you as guests out there as a guest on Casual Buddhism. And you can certainly come and enjoy a conversation with Venerable Dhammananda. And in closing, I wonder if Jack, you or Trudy would like to say anything.
You go ahead. We'll both say something, but Jack will begin. I like to have the last word.
I just feel a kind of tenderness, because it's been such a long journey for you to become a bhikkhuni and to support the spread of this. And Thailand holds such a place in the Buddhist world of care and stewarding these teachings. And now I get to see it. It reminds me of all the teachings and generosity of the people that Thailand offers to support the Dharma, and how joyful it is. You know, the world is having a really hard time in a lot of ways with the pandemic and with climate change and things that we really need to pay attention to. But there's also a joyful spirit in the Buddhist teachings where he says, live in joy even among those who are hate, or live in joy and well-being, even though some may be sick, that there's a freedom of spirit that you represent, Lung Ma, that the Thai people represent. And we really need this in the world. So it just makes me happy to see you. That's all.
Thank you. It makes me happy to see you every time I do, because I feel it's almost contagious, the communication of your mind full of white cows. Then they start to wander into my mind too, you know. So it's the kind of beautiful, this is the contagion we love, you know, where we really inspire each other with love and warmth. And I feel like, you know, the mystic that I experience you to be is somebody who knows how to cut through all of the stuff that we get lost in, and then bring it back to the simplicity of your teaching. It's deceptive because you think it's simple, but it's really, really deep. And that comes from everything you've done in your life, as Jack was mentioning. And I'm really grateful to be in your presence every time I get to be. So I hope it'll happen again soon. Thank you so much. And thank you, Cindy, for making this happen.
Thank you. Thank you.
Cindy, let me have the last word.
Of course.
Okay.
I hope this is recorded. This is a wonderful time that we have Jack Kornfield, who is known worldwide, you know, and the four of us sitting here connected. Isn't that amazing that you are on the other side of the globe and I'm here, but yet right this minute, we are connected as brothers and sisters. That is beautiful.
Yes.
Thank you.
It is. It's wonderful.
Yeah.
Yes,
Thank
it
you.
is being recorded. Thank you.
Hey.
Oddly.